Thanks, guys, for walking the 150 feet down from your guys' shop to be on the podcast.
Right.
Appreciate you guys. Why don't you tell everyone who you are?
So my name is Savannah, co-owner of Meraki Plants.
Allie, co-owner of Meraki Plants, and we're sister-in-laws.
Yes.
Oh, so what, it's crazy. I never thought there was a plant game, and then all of a sudden I have one interview with the plant people, and then people are, tagging you guys in it. I'm like, there's all of a sudden a plant community. So, and then the last podcast, they're like, yeah, you don't even realize, there's so many people that are so involved in plants and knowing everything. So, what made you guys get into plants?
Well, Allie, do you want to take this question?
Yeah, so we just, growing up, I love plants. My mom and my grandma used to surround the whole house with plants everywhere. I have pictures of me crawling, and I wasn't even a year old, and there were plants around the house everywhere. So just growing up, plants were something that I loved. Way before COVID hit, before it became a thing.
The cool thing, right?
Yeah.
It's funny the things that COVID made cool all of a sudden, like planting, I'm not gonna lie, I got in mountain biking. It was I couldn't get any mountain bike parts, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's all these things that became cool because it's well, you have to get out of your house, but you can't go anywhere. What do we do? So planting was what got everything started. Did it increase when COVID hit because you guys had less time, or?
Well, it really did a lot. We were both staying at home.
What were you guys doing?
School. We were actually going to RCC online.
RCC online.
And
Class of 06.
We had lots of downtime, and we already just had our own plant collection. And it really just helped out that we were both plant people, and that was the way that we started to bond together. Me growing up wasn't as many plants as Allie, but for sure we did have a couple plants here and there. No pets. So plants.
See, here's the thing. I think white people like us, we just don't have plants. I don't remember one plant in my house. My mom never had a plant. We just didn't have plants. You know.
My grandma is such a big outdoor person. So she just has trees of everything, cherries.
Yeah.
She has herbs growing everywhere, and so I think it definitely was something that was subliminally in my life. I really didn't notice it until I started getting older, and then I had mentioned, we were living together. That's the way that we had bonded. It kind of just became that thing that we would just post on Instagram, propagating our plants. People started asking us hey, how do you care for this plant, this and that? I was like, let me Google that really quick, because I knew about plants, but I didn't know a lot about them.
Someone's asking you a question, so
Yeah,
you're like, I know they can Google it, so I better say the right thing.
Exactly. And so through that, we just kind of really dove deep into learning about plants. Allie, she previously was doing horticulture, so I would grab her book and just read through it.
So pretty much we lived together right before the pandemic hit. Savannah and I had moved in together, and we had known each other because of the relationship she has with my brother, but we really never bonded until we shared our plant collection. And like you said, everyone was stuck at home doing homework, work. Nobody knew what to do with that much time, and people really didn't know how to spend time at home with their family or themselves, because we're so used to the hustle,
going a lot.
Right. So like Savannah said, we just started bonding that way. We started propagating even more plants. We shared with our neighbors, and then Savannah had a really big following in her personal Instagram, and she said, hey, let's share it. Compared to me, I had 200 followers. Savannah said, hey, let's share it. And once we shared with everyone, all of our friends and family wanted plants. So we started gifting our plants and running low really fast.
To the point where some of the plants that I have now are replacement plants of the ones that we would give away.
So for you guys, how do you take that, just a hobby or something you're into, to now, having a shop on Main Street in downtown Riverside? Listen, I'm on Main Street in downtown. I know how much it costs to get a building, and I knew how much how scary it was to sign a 3 to 5 year lease. How do you guys take just something you guys are just oh, I'm interested in this, to being hey, I'm gonna jump and open a whole shop of this?
Well, prior to us having the shop, we did a lot of pop-ups, and we would, like I said, we would collaborate a lot with coffee shops, especially here in Riverside.
Which coffee shops?
So we would do Arcade, Conjuring Coffee, Kramer's Coffee was actually one of the first pop-ups that we did. Shout out to Vanessa.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first pop-up that we did, and me being born and raised here in Riverside, Ali was raised here in Riverside, we knew that we wanted to give back to our community. I mean, growing up, you take so much from, the county that you're in. You really don't really notice it, but it's like the free education, just all of that really goes into kind of the steps that you take in life. And so we knew that we wanted to give back. We absolutely love being here in Riverside. I always thought, when I grew older, I wanted to leave and like go to LA or go to OC, and I was in LA for a little bit, but it's definitely not my kind of
different.
vibe. It is very different. Riverside's just very cozy and like warm, friendly.
So you're a Riverside girl?
Yep.
Both of you guys?
Yep.
What part?
I was born, like she said, in LA, so Hollywood, but I only lived like for 3 years, and then my parents moved to the IE, Corona for a few years, and then Riverside's been home forever.
Got it. I was an Orange Crest kid. That's where I grew up. Yeah, 91, 90.
Okay.
Orange Crest, never left. Somehow. It's just Riverside's such a weird town, and it's crazy to see like how different the pockets are here that people don't process. It's like you live up in Orange Crest. Like when I was a kid, Dad was here the other day. I was like, what's crazy? You never brought us down here as a kid. He's like, yeah, I don't know. We just never came down here. And then you come down here now and it's like art studio, plant studio, random coffee shops. It's like so like kind of hipster.
No, it is.
And it's like shifting to more hipster. It's like, who would think that Riverside would be so like trendy like that?
It is. It's very up and coming, honestly, when you look at all the constructions, the new builds, the new stores that are coming to Riverside. And it's really good because we need to keep a lot of our younger people here, to keep growing the community.
That's the hard part about Riverside. People leave. You know what I mean? It's people leave. Do you struggle with that? I know I do. It's like you're trying to find young professional people in Riverside to collab with and to like, it's hard to talk to someone who's like, nothing against ageism, but like 60 who's done it already. When you're like, yo, but I'm trying to like figure out this whole TikTok game. Like, what are you doing?
No,
you know what I mean?
And everybody's out in like LA,
and like,
so even when it comes down to doing like small pop-ups or like having vendors at the shop, we're always looking for people who are local, but it's really hard to find
tough, right?
Someone who does like their craftsmanship well and is local. It's gonna be like, yeah, I can be there in 20 minutes or something. Like, it's like no time. But if you're listening to this and you want to do a pop-up or something, always reach out. But
we'd love to give back. I mean, that's how we started. We started doing pop-ups, like she said.
What are you guys doing, like Fairmont Park and stuff?
No,
or just only in shops?
It was pretty much coffee shops, and then we had our plants like kind of consignment at the coffee shops.
Who would think plants would be on consignment,
right?
Right? Like I come from a world of assignments like totally different. So like when people are like, yeah, my plants are, I'm like, what? We're like, normally it's cars and things like.
And it was just so easy because at first, people were like, oh, well, I don't know how to care for the plants. Well, don't worry. You're like, we're going to be here every week. We're going to care for them. Like, you just, like, if you could just, like, keep our plants at your coffee shop, that would be great. Like, we'll care for them. We'll take care of everything, And so that's kind of how it started. And they really saw that people were interested. A lot of people were going into the coffee shop, or even just people who would just walk down, who weren't our customers, then became, just clients that we have relationships to till now. It's really amazing to see just how many people have followed us throughout our journey, where, they're like, oh, I've been following you guys since you guys been doing pop-ups, and now we're just on Main Street. And it's really awesome to see the community that we've built within Riverside. And I mean, just the plant community within itself is very large. I mean, there's plant stores just about anywhere, but there's not too many here in Riverside. And I mean, we want to connect ourselves more to nature here. We want to connect people with one another, which I think is just like our overall mission.
Yeah. So who like runs more of the business side of it? Or is it more like 50-50? Like
50-50, definitely.
Do you guys are you guys like totally opposite? Like, are you yin yang? Like, right? Like, and almost it's like, that's kind of what you need, right? Like for me, I'm like so direct, and I'm like, this is it, and this is how the numbers work, and if it doesn't fit these numbers, we don't do these things. And then like my girlfriend, who's also in real estate that helps out, it's like, but like I feel this way. I'm like, I don't care what you feel. This is what we need to do. Like, you know what I mean? So like, how for you guys? How do you balance? Do you guys still live together?
It feels like we do.
Yeah, it feels like
No.
we do, but yeah.
So
I'm
how
at
do
her
you
house.
balance that? How do you guys balance the work-life balance plus being family plus starting a new business, which is crazy in general?
Honestly, it's
When you think about it, they're plants.
Yeah.
They're plants. They have to, like, someone has to care for them.
Mhm.
It's not just like merchandise I can just leave on
Leave
there
there, yeah.
and
Yeah.
dust it off and, you know, move it around.
Mhm.
We have to care for the plants, and we're passionate about that. We are quite opposites, and I love that about that. We, you know, growing up, I'm the oldest of three, so I'm the only girl, and I always wanted a sister. I would always ask my parents for a sister, and I would say, "God, why didn't I get a sister?" And then
I
You
just
just
have a
weren't
lot
you
of
weren't
sisters.
you just weren't you weren't ready for one yet.
right,
You know what I mean?
right, yes.
And me
And then-
growing up with like all sisters is like, oh, that's another one to
That's
have.
all
another
she has,
sister.
sisters. She came along, and I was like, wow, like, this is it. I love her. Like, she's my best friend. She's my work buddy, like my work wife. My
Yeah.
brother's like, you guys are like married in this. I'm like,
Well,
yes,
yeah,
we are.
essentially we
Yeah. Which it's crazy, but that's what it takes. Like I don't think people process. It
Yeah.
is like a full board 24/7 thing, especially for the first few years. Like I don't think people ever process like how much it takes on to like get everything. So are you guys at the shop both at the shop at all time? Do you guys split time or do you have employees?
So now, just more recently, we actually got employees, which we've been a little bit more hands off being at the shop. I mean, we're still there to do like, you know, maintenance on the plants and
Yeah.
everything. But for sure, we've stepped away from the shop a little bit more.
It is
So
such a
it's very-
blessing
yeah.
to finally have a team.
To finally
there's-
find good
it's-
people.
Well,
Yeah.
not even that. You know, as a small business, a lot of people don't. We're so used to like the corporate world or
Yeah.
everything like, you know, customers always right in the sense or like.
Not
just
that the customer isn't always
No.
right, but
Right,
yeah.
but that sense of like when someone steps in a store and buys something, it's like we don't really see past that and it just helps us appreciate small businesses more. You know, it takes a lot more work for us to do everything that we do. You know?
I don't think people
We-
process how many hats you have to wear when you're starting a small business. Like,
Right.
it's funny, like, yesterday, like, and you probably guys have days like this. Like, yesterday, I felt like, actually, right before you guys walked in, I was dealing with some printing issues, and it wasn't working. And I looked at Adrian, I was like, man, I just feel like this last few weeks, like, everything is taking 10 times longer than it should. Nothing's working. And he goes, I know, right? Like we'll upload a video, and then, like, it, didn't work, or something happened. I'm like,
Yeah.
man. And you got to, like, okay, like, take a deep breath. Like, it's not the end of the world. Let's figure it out. Like, I don't think people process, like, you have to wear every single hat. You're the
And
salespeople. You're the decision maker. You're
Yep.
this person. Like, yesterday I was
Social
debating on
media,
social media editor, you know, and you're, like, all trying to figure this out as we go. And then how do you make
Exactly.
business decisions? And so for you guys have a system in place to, like, make business decisions, like, where the company goes? Like, do you guys sit down or, like...
Yeah, we definitely discuss over everything. Ali and I have pretty open communication on that. You know, we always are kind of like redirecting everything to align to just, you know, the mission that we're going towards and our values, you know, just as like a functioning team together and, you know, we're really where we want to take Meraki. So
So where do you guys want to take it?
everywhere.
Well, we want to go back to basics too. Where we started doing pop-ups and we're huge about community. I love community, and we started doing workshops too. When we first did pop-ups, the coffee shops would host our
It was
workshops.
so much fun.
And we used to have pop-ups and collaborate with coffee shops in the IE. Temecula area is IE as well, right?
Yeah.
And Orange County.
Okay.
And so we have
It's
quite
a
a
little
following.
more bougie down there. I'll say it.
Just a sweet.
Just a tat.
We love our people.
Yeah.
I mean, plant
Yeah.
people are just awesome. I think that's what I love the most about it. That people from every background, you know, all ages just come together and they love plants. They get to meet other people and just make friends and not even like focus on what you do for a living or your status. It's just like, what plant do you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you start?
It's like the plant will
Do you
name
have
your
any
status.
tips?
It's almost like,
Well, yeah.
are you an exotic plant collector?
Yeah.
or
She's
are
like,
you
she's like, if I know your plant collection, I know what kind of person
no,
you
and
are.
Exactly. No, it's very true. You
It
can
can
kind
be
of tell.
true.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
tell what a person's like.
You can
through
tell
their
when,
plant.
when there's a bougie plant person.
Bougie bland
yeah,
person.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, like how it took something so big to make something come out of, you know, like who would ever have thought that, like, and then obviously with social media now, like, were you guys shocked, like, that, like, you post something, you're like getting comments and views and stuff, and you're like, what the? You're like, I thought I was the only one that cared about plants and all these things.
I want to say our growth has been steady
Yeah.
and like in every sense. I remember when we first opened our Instagram page, we were all like, okay, everything has to be perfect.
Right.
The name, this.
Then you
this,
get
and
over
that.
it.
And we had
Yeah.
like 5 followers.
Yeah.
And then it became like 100 and then 200. And we were like, just growing as we went. Although lately, because it's been us two for about 3 years almost, just us two doing everything. Can you imagine that? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
the
yeah.
plants,
And
just
then
the
just
plants
social
alone.
media is very like, you know, it's just very demanding
It's
on
very
you.
tiring.
And yeah, and so it's just like, you know, you kind of have to constantly be posting, you know, to
It's
get
a full, I hate when people want to be like, I could do it. I'm like, okay.
like, no,
Do it
it's-
every day
mhm.
for 10 years or for whatever amount of years, and be the one that comes up with all the ideas, shoot the content. Like, luckily for me, I'm in a job where we can afford all this and I can have staff. But like, I always laugh. I was like, there was a long time it was just me. Like, you know what I
You
mean?
have a huge personal following, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, I mean, I can only imagine like how much like that. It's just consistency.
Well, and then
consistency,
too,
and-
it's like the thing that people don't, the pressure of being like, what do I post, what I don't post?
Yeah.
I think also the value that you
Yeah.
provide.
Yeah.
It's not just about posting. I'm very like, I oversee most of our social media, and I'm very like, what value am I going to contribute to?
Yeah.
I just I don't want to just post something because I want the
Just put blah
algorithm
out there,
to
yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
give me more followers, give me no. It's just really I want people to follow, especially nowadays. We're overstimulated. We're just scrolling down stuff.
That's why I don't like TikTok.
Right.
Literally,
I don't
everyone's like, why aren't you on TikTok? It's tons of views. I'm like, dude, I watched my girlfriend's 14-year-old daughter and their 12-year-old son on TikTok. They're not processing what they're looking at. It's just like, that's all they do. Do you guys spend a lot of time on social? I don't.
No, I just
I post
Meraki.
and go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
And I don't even do all my
I
posting
don't
anymore.
even have a personal one that
No?
I can remember. No.
Oh. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, if it wasn't for my job, I wouldn't even have one probably. I have no desire to like post my life on there. Maybe some people say I should post more, to be honest, in my life, but I just don't like to.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's a full-time job. Just
It's a
doing social-
full-time
yeah,
job.
It's just full-time doing social media.
So
Yeah.
Can I go back to the question
Yes,
you
go ahead,
asked?
yeah.
You asked where we see ourselves going.
Yeah.
So back to our
I love
name.
that she's treating this like an interview. Continue.
No. Well, I love that question.
Yeah.
You know, I just really want people to know. So Meraki means to do everything. Oh, Meraki's a Greek word.
Okay.
And that Greek word means.
Who came up with it?
Um,
Whose
so
decision was
I
it?
wish I could. I
No,
could credit
we-
myself for that.
No, but
I'm
it's
not
just
Greek.
something that it's something that we wanted to just represent the community that we're trying to build.
Got
You
it.
know, and also just something that was gonna align and connect with everyone's just values in life and like where they want to go. And I think really we didn't want it to be like
I
Allie or
think we
Savannah
skipped
Plants.
through like how we started though, because we were doing homework
Yeah.
on the computer at the dining table.
Okay.
And I said, hold on, I forgot to water my plants. I went outside, I came back in, and then she just looks at me. And I'm like,
I remember
what-
that day.
yeah.
We were sitting
like,
at the
what's going
kitchen
on,
table.
Savannah? She had a crazy idea. She's like, let's start a business. Like, let's.
Why not?
Yeah,
Right?
and you know, I at first I giggled and I said, what? Like, Savannah, go back to doing your homework. You know, like everyone's going through so much right now, and you're like wanting to open a business.
And I think at this time we were taking a business class
Yeah.
together at RCC as well too, and so I was just like, why not? Like we're already like doing this.
Did you guys drop
know?
out of college now? You guys done?
no, I've
Not-
had to go back.
Yeah.
Sure you won't. You
love-
won't. You won't. Stop.
No, I just.
I've always said I was going back. I've never gone back. I tried to go back.
I
I
love
literally
school,
took
though.
classes. I literally took classes last year. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna sign up for one class a semester just to take it. Totally forgot the class started because everything around here was going crazy. And then I get like an email like, you've been dropped from this class. I'm like, school started already? They're like, yeah, it started 3 weeks ago. I was like, you never showed up. I'm like, oh, whoopsie, never mind. so
well, we'll see how that goes. But,
Adrian, mark
really
this. Adrian, mark it. We're gonna hold this to her in 5 years. We'll see if she went back.
I'm sure she will. Yeah,
I'm very determined.
So you guys come up with a word.
Well, so she said, she first wanted to do a flower shop.
Okay.
Because I really like the Korean bouquets that I kept seeing like on social media. I just thought they were so cute. Like I love peonies, and so just like all of that. Ali before used to be a florist, and so I was just like, this checks out 100%. Like we got it in the bag pretty much.
But myself being exposed to the market, I was like, no, there's a lot of waste. Because I would feel bad as a florist having to waste so much on a daily, whatever didn't sell. It had a shelf life.
Because they only last so long.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I said, no, like, let's do plants.
Which that's also a hard business model.
But
if you order the wrong flowers and they don't sell, that's just wasted. You're just dumping them. That's tough.
Right. It's a waste. It's wasteful. So being in like the business, my dad's friend owned the flower shop. So I saw a lot of like the market and stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, let's do plants. I mean, we know how to grow them. Like I know the ins and outs about plants. I love them. Like, and her eyes lit up
because I never would have thought like something like you were so passionate about, like just do as a hobby that can really like transmit into like a whole business. I guess I never really like in that moment
process that
like we can actually turn plants into a business.
And I think for me 2020 was like the biggest year. Just God poured so many blessings over me because first, like we got to live together and I got her. You're one of my biggest blessings. and then, her like just sparking that, like, let's open up a business. Growing up, I've always wanted to have a business. So both of my parents are from Guatemala. I'm first generation here. And we don't have a lot of family here. Most of it is in Central America. So all of my uncles, all of them have a business, whether it's a restaurant, a boutique, they have hotels, they do a lot of Airbnbs, they grow coffee. So me growing and I actually lived in Guatemala for 4 years. Sorry, just going back. So me living 4 years in Guatemala exposed me to like the business world, and my parents had businesses out there too. And I loved every aspect of it. Like I used to like go to school, do my homework because I love school. So what 8-year-old would you have like, I have to go to school.
You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
I have to do homework, and then I would like eat a snack or something and then just run off to one of their businesses and hop from one to another.
Yeah.
And just be behind the counter, and like I would help them. Like their kids, my uncle's kids would hate the business. And I was like, I want it all. Like I would just help them do the inventory and like just dream of it. But I think now thinking back, what I loved the most was connecting with people.
Yeah.
Because I got to see the small business connections where my uncles, my aunts, they knew everyone in town.
It's a different game.
Right. They knew their customers. Their customers would just come in and say hi, and I love that. So now when she mentioned that, I had always like put it in God's hand. I was like, I want to own a business, but I don't like the business aspect of like, it's a hustle and the grind and the like for the money. I don't like that. Like I personally, I feel blessed to do something that I love. That even if I'm tired, like working 12 to 14 hours a day, I feel happy.
Yeah.
And so I feel that with Meraki because I get to give back to the community, create those bonds with them, and just show them that there's hobbies in this life that can still connect you to yourself, because we're so disconnected within ourselves. We're distracted with everything in life. It connects you with other people, so with friends and other people that you meet along the way. And nature. We're so like disconnected from that. So it just brings awareness. Once you get a plant, then you're going to start noticing the trees and the shrubs and everything around you. Trust me, it happens. Everyone always comes in and they're like, okay, I want a garden now. I want to grow my tomatoes. So I think that it's nice that we get to inspire the younger generation and that they want to grow their own plants, because the world we're leaving behind, the footprint is really bad.
Yeah.
So if we can inspire them to look around and make differences and live more sustainable, then that's going to overall add value to our community.
And that's something I noticed that no one ever talks about. I remember when I was a kid. I don't know how old you guys are. I'm 35, but I remember when I was a kid. It was like the rainforest. We never. No one talks about the rainforest anymore. Like all of a sudden we're destroying the rainforest. I doubt that got fixed, and now no one ever talks about it. We never hear about the rainforest anymore.
No, yeah. And I mean, it's just very true. Like Ali was saying, we're just really disconnected from not only ourselves, but, just nature overall, which I feel that plants really ground us and center us, really help us, like, take the time to notice exactly and use all of our senses into what we're doing, like, whether it's just you cleaning your plants, like, it's just very, like, relaxing. Like, the plant wipes that we have at the shop, just, like, I go and...
I can waste no time, because I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. I can waste no time, because I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. I can waste no time, because I gotta keep it tight. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me.
And like clean all the plants because you just feel like more grounded within yourself. And so
you kind of get lost. Like
slows you down.
When you're doing plants,
I think that's the hard part is our minds are just like
right.
everywhere.
A lot of people don't realize why they're interested in plants or why they gravitate towards them, and they're like, man, I kill them, but I still want them. It's just because when there's scientific proof that when we are physically touching the leaves, especially soil, it creates serotonin in our brains.
Got it.
So it creates this, like, it stimulates us and it makes us really happy and joyful. And we use all of our senses, like she was saying. So we're like focused on this
feeling
one
the
beautiful
soil.
thing, and it just calms you down, and then it excites you too when you like see a new leaf unfurl or you see new growth. Savannah and I still dance around, and we have hundreds of plants around us, and yet we still get happy about it because you feel like you're nurturing this plant.
Like you made this happen. Yes. And it's alive because of you.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's what we want to go back to, inspire our community to just connect with each other. Just kind of be something where they can share with their families, with the kids. We can inspire them. There's so many educational paths that you can go within the industry. A lot of people don't know about horticulture or botany, and there's so many things out there, so many jobs that people don't even know there are. It's not just like owning a shop. It's like you can travel and do so much. You can be a tree like doctor. You can work for Disneyland. They have, like, my professors have worked for Disney World, and they go around and travel and care for the roots of a tree.
Well, yeah, because I mean to think about the art that plants are. Like, I mean, Disneyland's a great example. It's like you go in there and it's like everything is perfect, nothing's dead. Like to what it takes to maintain that place, just on the plant level, must be insane.
And I think for us, like too, because before we've even had a shop, we used to like go to different shops and buy plants, and it's just nobody really realizes how challenging it is to keep a plant looking good in a shop. Like it's a lot of work
because it's not where they're just like naturally growing. And I mean, plants themselves aren't perfect wherever they grow naturally, whether it's in the jungle and the rainforest. There's always going to be like a yellow leaf or a crispy edge, but pretty much, just the lighting situation from having it at the shop, from a greenhouse, like just that difference is major. Like the humidity levels is a huge difference in like what's really gonna keep a plant thriving and happy. And so, like Ali's saying, it's really challenging to keep that plant happy and alive for that next person who comes into the store to take it home and it be acclimated properly for it to like still thrive in their home. So yeah, that's just something that we didn't appreciate before when we started our plant collection, and now
until now you're like, we have so many.
Yeah, we probably have like way over, like I don't even know how many, like 500 plants in this.
Do you have a lot of plants at home?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have about more than 100 in just my room.
Just your room?
Yeah, just my room. And then throughout the whole house, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So is it like almost like an addiction?
It was a deal. It was a deal breaker for my husband. He said, hey, like when we first started dating, he said, okay, you love plants. I said, yes, I do. And he said, how much? Like, he was scared to ask me that question. And then he came around and he saw how many plants, and he said, I think this is going to be a deal breaker. And I said, well, I'm glad you know it, because I love plants. And I joke around all the time. And he didn't really appreciate them. And now he is into air plants.
Yeah,
something that
I didn't think he would actually.
Exactly. Something that I wasn't even gravitating towards. I really don't know much about air plants.
I don't even know what air plants are.
They're plants that just grow like mostly in like Latin America or like tropical areas. They're just plants that grow off the branches of trees.
Really?
They don't have, they're soilless.
Okay.
So the root system is just.
So he's gone like extreme. He's like he's going deep.
Air plants, and he's so smart about it. Like, he can identify the scientific name. To me, they kind of like succulents. I'm not into succulents or cacti. Cacti a little bit more, but succulents to me just look the same. I'm more like about foliage and the greenery and like everything about that, the patterns, textures. But succulents look to me like the same, and air plants do too. And he can identify them all. And I'm like, how? Like, they look the same.
Not knowing anything about a plant.
Now he's like, watch me. He's like, I'm gonna one up you right here.
Yeah. So I don't know how we got to that, but sorry, guys.
No, but like, going back to that main question that you were asking, where do we want to take Meraki? We really just want, again, just to connect everyone, whether that's through doing pop-ups again.
Do you feel like you guys have gotten too busy to do pop-ups now?
Yeah, and it just being us at the shop and like
it's so
just
hard.
Running everything.
You gotta give up things. And
exactly.
People are like, you need to be doing this and this and this, and I'm like, cool. With what? With who?
Yeah, it's like I only have 2 arms and now 2 more with Allie. Like, we only
and
have 4 arms.
And you only have honestly, like.
And she's a mother.
Yeah, and you only have so much time in one day.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And then some days it's like, dude, I just need a break. You know?
So at the end of the day, we're human beings and we have like our own life and our business. We love our lives and our business, but you get kind of lost in it sometimes because, like you said, you're the owner. You never stop working.
And you never it's not a word, is you never stop thinking.
Yeah.
You will never stop thinking.
No.
I think that's like something that some people do not process. It's like, especially now that you guys, congratulations, you have employees, but like even now that, like, is this a good employee, a bad employee? Like, maybe things aren't going so great. Do we need to have to let this person go? Like, what are we going to do? Like, do we need to hire more people? Did we hire the right person? Like, do they fit our core values?
Especially when you're working with, like, students. It's challenging sometimes because then they have to go back home. And then you have employees for, the holidays or something like that.
Or they call in sick, and then you're the one scrambling to go open the shop. And, it's tough.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's something that if you've never been part of a small business or own a small business, it's one thing that you'll never process and you'll never understand the ability never to be able to turn it off. You know what I mean? And then for you guys, like, you're going into like plants, and so like then you're doing more research and learning more, and it's like, and almost like, it's sometimes hard to check out. Yeah, it's very difficult,
especially when someone like goes and takes their own first plant, and then we get so many messages on Instagram. And then people expect a quick response.
Oh, I know.
Jesus, but it's hundreds of questions a day, and we want to give back. We want to help them, and which is why we create so many educational content. But just the expectancy that people don't realize. I think
it's the Amazon effect.
That it's just two of us.
It's the Amazon effect.
I
swear.
2
people plus running a business.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll have people too. I'll have some people, like, what we struggle with here is like, I'll like throw a post out there like, hey, who wants to be on the podcast? And then someone will hit me up, and then like I'll like look through their stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know what you do. So like, what are we supposed to talk about for at least 30 minutes? And like, it sucks because I've told people like, I'm sorry, like, I just don't see how this makes sense. And then like, they're pissed, and I'm like, it's my podcast. Like, if I don't want to have you on, like, you know what I mean? It's like, what do you even do? Like, like one guy was like a print company. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Paper? Like, I don't know what to talk to you about. You know what I mean? Or you have no story, or you have no, like, you know what I mean? It's hard. You want to answer and give back to everyone, but some people it's impossible. And you just have to realize you're not going to make everyone happy.
Yeah. And I think that's also just like the toughest part, because, just we're so connected with like our customers that we want to just, you know, be able to give 100% of ourselves.
It hurts
to them,
not to be able to.
Yeah, but
it
it
really
just,
does.
Yeah, but it like, you know, we're not like we're only two people. We do so much throughout the day, and it's not like we're trying to make excuses for ourselves.
It's impossible. And I'm sorry, but I don't think the margins on a plant's that big. I mean, I don't know your business model, but it's like, it's not like you're making $10,000 off one plant sale. You know what I mean? So so that's the thing, is like the margins to run everything. You don't have the energy or the bandwidth to then hire someone else just to answer your questions. And like, it's just, and it's scary to hire someone. I don't think people realize it is very scary to hire someone, because you're like, when you hire someone, you don't want to have to let them go. So you're like, is this someone I'm gonna need in 6 months? Like, if not, should we hire someone? It's a very hard conversation to have.
I think that was the hardest thing for us from going to having a team. We have such a relationship with our customers.
Oh, yeah.
We love our customers.
And then you don't want to feel like
we want them to feel
you
the
lose
same.
that connection. Yeah.
Right. And we want them to feel just the same. So bringing anyone to our team, we've been blessed with the girls. Like we have 3 girls right now, and we love them. But it's really challenging to find people who fit and have your values and
that you can
mission.
slide off to your clients, and there's not.
Right.
That's something we struggle with here, because I can't be at every showing. I can't meet every client. I'm doing this. I'm doing projects, whatever. It's like, so who can I send that's like knowledgeable, that's responsible, that's professional, that's not going to upset the client, because, you know, that could cost us a lot of money. And it's
still with like our girls right now, we still have people saying, oh no, I'll come back when Allie or Savannah.
Yes.
And it's like, it's kind of sad, because I can't be there all the time. And I want them to build that relationship with their customers too. Because Riverside community, I just never realized where I lived. Like, it is such a beautiful community. They're very supportive, especially with small businesses. I can't say enough. I love the community we're in, and I feel blessed that we get to have our shop in Main Street on the corner where we used to walk
for like
with our parents, you know, and we never thought we were gonna be there.
Was that your first location you looked at, or was there other ones?
No, that was honestly like it just felt like.
Well, Savannah, she found that location.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like going
on LoopNet.
Going through LoopNet, and then it's like the first location. I was like, this is perfect. Like, it's on Main Street. Like, you know, the windows are amazing. They're huge.
We didn't think we would get it, you know.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be our first location.
For sure. It's definitely weird. It's, you know, it's a weird process to be like, okay, what do you need from me? Should you, like, I'm signing now a 3-year lease. Is it, you know, triple net lease? I'm like, what does that even mean? I don't know.
You learn as you go.
Yeah, right?
I remember when we...
Well, she's a little, like, nerdy about real estate, because that's something that she wanted to pursue.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was
she has her terminology. I'm like, okay, speak English to me. What does that mean? But she knew about the triple net and all of that, and like, I'm slowly learning with her.
And so when we found the location, I was just like, okay, we have to drive down right now. Like, we have to see it. I know this spot is gonna go by fast. Like, it's on, you know, it's in Main Street, downtown Riverside. It's a beautiful location. The inside was just already, you know, just well taken care of. And so we went, and we like immediately fell in love.
And you have the farmers market every week in there.
We didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So, no, we didn't know about that until.
Here's the sad thing. So on the weekends, we used to go out to like LA or OC.
Got it.
And not spend much time here on the weekends.
Adrian, cut that please for them.
And then when we got the spot, they were like, oh yeah, there's a farmers market on Saturdays. And also, I'm not an early person, so I would never wake up early to go to the farmers market. But yeah, like, that's also nice that we get to
right there every weekend.
Yeah.
And then you got the festival lights coming up, which this is gonna be like so you guys haven't had like a real festival lights.
No, this is gonna be like our first official.
I hope you're ready for it. It is next level crazy down here on the weekends, and it's just so busy, and parking's a pain, and like I sometimes wish I could leave for 6 weeks, because it is just insane down here.
No, and I remember, just like growing up in Riverside, how big the Festival of Lights was.
And I think this
just,
year's
like,
going to be
I know,
huge because it's been 3 years or 2 years, whatever the
2 years,
numbers have been. It is going to be, I think it's going to go epic this year.
Yeah.
Well, the Festival of Lights has always been something big. I remember coming every year to that, but never like being on the other side of like owning a business. And
Owning a business, and then like, I'll tell you what, this pre-warning for you guys, expect packages not to be delivered on time. That is something that does happen during this time, is like, because they'll shut the streets down or whatever, like UPS will just be like, I'll come back later. So be prepared for that.
Yeah.
That's something.
Well, we'll have to change that shipping address.
Yeah, exactly. Ship it to the house.
Right.
Like I have to, like I ship everything gets shipped here, but like during this time I get everything shipped to the house because it's like, because like you're expecting to be this day and then it keeps delayed.
That's.
well, thank you for that.
Right.
It's a good tip to have. Yeah. So for you guys, moving forward, what is the best way for people to get a hold of you? Is it social media? Is it stopping by the shop? And then, what advice you would give someone who's on the edge of having the love that you guys have for plants, but doesn't know how to take it to the next level? Asking hard questions.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, you can find us at MerakiPlants.shop on pretty much anything, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're on
Our music
platforms.
playlist is on Spotify too.
Yeah, so we get a lot of questions
Yes.
actually when people walk in, like, what playlist are you guys?
In the shop?
Yeah, like,
No.
what are you guys playing? Like, I love this. Like, where can I find it? And so our Spotify playlist is also on our Instagram. You can find us on like LinkedIn.
But we'd love if they come into the shop.
Yeah.
Got it.
We'd
Do you
love
guys
to
do
connect
study?
them.
You guys sell plants online too, or you ship or no?
Not
That's
yet.
something that we are currently working on, so stay tuned to that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can always find us at the shop here on Main Street, so 3521 Main Street.
Right on the corner
Yep.
across the street from the convention center.
Exactly.
And you guys got easy parking there.
Yes.
That's the one thing I don't like. That's hard here is like people never know where to park. But you guys have that parking spot.
We
Yeah.
validate parking.
She validates parking. There you go. So for you guys, like, what is someone who was kind of in your position? Actually, I want to change the question because this podcast is for other people. What advice would you give someone who, when you went from sitting at that table where she throws that idea out there, to now where you guys are at, what do you think is something that truly helped you guys get there? Because I know there's so many people that are sitting at their kitchen table thinking of an idea like, what if, like, who would be into plants or who would be into whatever?
Yeah.
So what advice would you give someone that takes you to the next level?
Well, honestly, I like to think to myself that the biggest lie ever told is it isn't that easy. And it really is that easy. It's just, I mean, it's not easy having to wake up early in the morning, put in the work. That isn't easy. But, just the idea, from taking it to an idea to actually creating something, I think is just as simple, but we let ourselves get in the way.
We think
of
it's
that.
so much. We think it's the
Yeah.
name, it's the logo,
and so-
everything has to be perfect.
And it's just kind of like give yourself some grace, really
Yes.
sit down, think things through. What do you want? And then, just move forward with that. Make a schedule for yourself and like plan out just really the next steps that you want to take and where you want to take yourself.
Yeah.
So
I would really, if I would have to say something, is just expect to work even harder than what you already are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
A
think
lot of
we all
people-
underestimate how long it's gonna truly take.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. Add a couple
Years.
months or
Yeah,
years
years.
to like whatever you're trying. to get
And
to.
I think, like you said, grace. Like I think sometimes that happens to us, where I'm like, I want to be here. Why aren't we here yet? And you're like, dude, like just take a step back for a
Yeah.
second and be like, yo, like you've done a lot.
Yeah,
Like
you definitely
give yourself some grace because it's so hard because you're all like, why are we not doing
Yeah.
pop-ups anymore? Why are we not answering our Instagram messages
Yeah.
back in 2014? You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
and it's very true. It's very true. I think we have very high expectations within ourselves that we just need to take that step back and really just think about those things that we've already accomplished and like, okay, if I could do this, then I can do this. I can kind of do it in another form or another way.
yeah,
Just I think loving what you want to do.
got it.
That there is no nothing drives me more. I am so exhausted some days, and nothing drives me more than knowing that I'm actually adding value to our community through the relationships we build, through connecting people with plants. Like nothing drives me more than that.
Yeah.
It's not the money. It's not like how fast I'm growing. Since the beginning, I kind of felt like a little naive because to me, it was like we were interacting with all these business owners, and to them, everything was numbers and like profit and loss and this and this. And to me, it was just like, what am I doing for the community? And it kind of like paid off to do that, because now we're where we're at right now because of the hard work and the love that we have for what we do.
Yeah.
It was never really like greed or, you know, wanting to be rich. It was really just what we wanted.
I just don't think people realize, and I hate when I've had people debate me on this, like when you think you're doing something for money and then you get the money, if your life is still the same, you'll still be unhappy.
No, it's very true.
It honestly makes it worse because now you have money. Now people want stuff from you. Now you're just searching for happiness. Like I went from being homeless, living on my buddy's floor, to this, and I tell people all the time, like, yeah, the first year where you went from like making nothing to 6 figures was a big deal, but then doubling that the next year, like nothing. It actually got worse. Like I actually missed this sweet spot, but we do all this. We weren't doing all this back then, and now we can help people more. But I tell people all the time, like, you think like, oh, if I just made more money, or I'm telling you, if you're unhappy now, if you and your husband or wife are unhappy now, 50 grand more is not going to make you happy. Trust me, because you'll spend it, and then it just comes with more problems. You know what I mean? It's like you got to get your life right before you get your money right.
Yeah,
you know,
I think you got to learn how to be happy with or
without it.
Without money.
Yeah,
that's just really it. I think it's also like where you're at mentally, and I think plants can help you come back and unwind
just
and
calm
really
down.
come and value and think about what you do value in life.
Yeah.
So that's where we want to provide that for our community here in Riverside, and go on and expand to other communities we built that we haven't connected with them because we can no longer do pop-ups.
Yeah.
But now we have a team, so we're trying to work on that right now. We love everyone, whether you're in the OC or Temecula area. We are coming back to you. You know, and just for anyone who wants to start up a business or do something that they're passionate about, you know, plan ahead, start thinking of everything right now. You don't have to do it when you start. You know, the opportunity will land, and if you work hard and if you love it, it's gonna happen. And also, business isn't for everyone.
100%.
A lot of people
not everyone should do it.
A lot of people don't know that, you know, it's something that it's almost like a something that's not for everyone.
It's
and
not
you have to be
for
okay
everyone,
with
and
that.
you got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And it may, but maybe you need. You're the second in charge, not the main person, and that's okay too.
Like your idea can still be
in the company,
exactly,
but you maybe don't have to make all the hard decisions.
And that's when we interview, and we've hired people. We tell them, you know, we want a team that has different talents and skills, and that feels like they can just like grow and explore those skills here in Meraki, like contribute them and just be happy coming to work and like share their talents with us, you know, and add value to our community.
I think that's the biggest contribution in a small business is the team members that you have.
You have to pick good team members.
But not just that, it's just like as an employer now, like, you know, that's the biggest value that you're giving to your community, because those people are just going to grow within like your own company. You're going to give those people, you know, just added value, added skill. And so I think that's just really like, that's our next step, like, you know, just giving back to our community in that sense, and like, you know, giving jobs.
It feels good to employ people. It feels good to know that person has that because of what we do. You know what I mean?
So in the beginning, like we had said, it was never about, since the beginning, Savannah and I had like spent nights. We used to handwrite, or like, you know, we provide labels for our plant care on every plant. We used to handwrite them before.
Taking us back to
our first pop-up at Kramer's.
All night.
We did not sleep a single hour. We were like, Savannah, I think you were pregnant. She was pregnant. She was like, and I felt so bad for her, but she was like, no, I can do it. And we literally did not sleep that day. And it was the most beautiful thing to have the community in Brockton Arcade area just support us. It was like the sweetest thing. I can still savor that first pop-up, you know, just connecting with people. I just didn't know Riverside was that beautiful,
Well,
like
it's only getting better.
Yeah. So going back to our name, when Savannah and I were about to, choose our name, we thought it's not going to be Allie's plant. It's not going to be Savannah's plants. We don't want it to be ours. We want it to still be something that's still inspiring people, even when we're not longer in this world,
And it makes it better. So when people are not like, oh, where's so-and-so?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the way to transparent. So thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Make sure if you guys need plants, go hit them up Instagram. But most importantly, stop by their amazing shop in downtown Riverside. It is great. Go down, get a plant, get a sandwich.
You're going to have to go down and get a
plant. Oh, my God. All right. Listen, I believe in supporting small businesses, so I will be down and buy a plant, okay? So thanks, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being on. And until next time, guys, peace.